You've seen our videos on how to save a dying orchid, and you've followed them and you've landed up with something like this. It's all recovered from that what seemed to be a dying stem, and you've got some kikis coming off it now. So now it's time to repot these up. How do you do it? Welcome to the Nature Company. If this is the kind of information you're interested in, please hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and that notification bell to be notified of all our upcoming content so you don't miss out on a thing. So with this orchid, this is probably a year and a half's worth of growth at least. I know some other channels that are in Vietnam or other places where they show instant growth, but here in our climate we're not getting growth as quickly as that. But in ideal climates you can get kikis of your Phalaenopsis to grow fast enough to flower within the second year. But these are certainly not going to be doing that. Let's have a look and see how we're going to manage this plant moving forward. First, we make sure we've got all the equipment, the potting media, and the treatments ready so that we can get straight into the repotting. The easiest part of this whole thing is going to be removing it from the pot. And I only have 2 pots, so this one is going to have to be cleaned. We're going to wash it out with soap and then pour some boiling water on it. And the boiling water is just used to sterilize the pot so we're not carrying any of the pathogenic fungi or bacteria through with it. And then with sterilized equipment, we'll just go in and remove any of those old dead roots after we've removed the balance of the media. And I'm just removing all these old dead roots, so it's going to make it easier for me to see where the connection points of these little kikis are onto the main stem. That way I'll be able to remove them more easily, making sure I don't damage any of the roots. Okay, now it's easier to get in there and see where those connection points of those kikis are to the main stem. Now it's a matter of just checking how flexible it is and whether if you pull it away, that it's going to damage any of these roots that are attached to the base of the keiki. There we go. So it's just a matter of working slowly and carefully to ensure the little kikis roots are loose, and then you can gently pull it away. Okay, this one's not going to put it away, so I'm just going to have to get my secateur. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's got much less root volume than I would like for the size plant it is. And we can see why it broke off. Not as far down, so that I should have cut off as opposed to pulling off. I could have actually left it on the stem because the stem still has some viable old roots left on it and would have made this keiki a lot stronger. So what we'll do with this old stem now is we'll go through that same process that we did in saving a Phalaenopsis orchid with this dry stem again. It's got viable roots on it, and hopefully we can force out another keiki or 2 from the stem. But let's get to potting these 2 up. So we have our washed and sanitized pot and another one that we used earlier. This I've just used to measure out the charcoal, and I'm going to be using a 50-50 mix of charcoal and bark chunks. It's another wonderful thing about not having to grow orchids commercially any longer, but growing them just for the passion. Instead of having to deal with several thousand orchids, just a few hundred, and it's easy to ensure you can get the exact media you want for your orchid. So now I can sit, and if my bark's not the right size, I can cut it into the size and chunks that I think are going to be just perfect for my orchid. And the same goes for my charcoal. You can check out the link to the charcoal video in the description box down below to see how I did that. So what we do with these little kikis now is we check them for any scale or mealybug or anything like that. If we see anything, we can just take a Q-tip and wipe them off. If the Q-tip's not getting into those little gaps, take something like a toothpick. Just be careful because this can damage your leaf, and just carefully scratch them out from those little corners. And now with these, what we're going to do is give them an instant spray with our famous garlic tonic. This is going to help reduce the transplant shock and give them that little boost that they need to keep growing. So give that a good spray, good coverage all over the roots and the leaves. We could do it once we've already transplanted it, but this is a nice way to be able to get into all those little cracks and turn your plant upside down so that any of the excess moisture can drip out of the crown. Then, of course, cinnamon. What we're going to do with the cinnamon is just dab it onto those ends where we removed the keiki from the mother plant. So we can also just use the Q-tip for that. We want to be quite targeted with that because we don't want to get any really onto the roots. If we get it onto the roots, then we can just spray it off with that garlic water again, because that cinnamon can be quite desiccating on the roots themselves. So we just want to get it mostly on that little wound. And then just mixing our medias together. We also have an excellent video down below on one of the reasons why I do use so much charcoal in the mixes, especially for my Phalaenopsis. And then we'll just fill that in far enough down to be, oopsie. We'll do this one first. And there we go. We notice we haven't sunk that keiki in very deep at all. Just the roots are hidden underneath the media. And these are going to be allowed to settle and rest for several months to allow that root growth to take hold, to hold onto the media so that they can stabilize. Here we've got a longer root that we want to get right down to the bottom of the pot. And then we can just fill in the media around. And there we go. The most difficult part in saving your Phalaenopsis is in that initial part, getting your old stem to produce those kikis again. And from there, it's actually relatively easy. We now have 2 little plants from what used to be 1. So not only have we saved it, but we've multiplied it. And care for these kikis now that we've planted them up. What I'm going to be using is this garlic water. I'm going to be using this once a week on them, just to ensure they're getting all that vigor boost that they need to start really growing well and settling in those roots. And then after about approximately a month, I'll reduce down the use of this garlic water to perhaps once every 2 weeks, and then after another month, just once a month, until I see that they've really settled in properly and they've really started to grow and thrive. So there's your heartwarming Disney fairy tale. We woke up Sleeping Beauty, and we hope to wake her up again. And if you still need further information on how to wake up your Sleeping Beauty, Ed posts a lot of content in that Buy Me a Coffee link down below. Don't be shy, become a member and get access to all that bonus information as well. And start growing like a pro. And we'd like to welcome Nina Nuriman as our latest Buy Me a Coffee member. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you for watching. If you find any of this information helpful, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below, and that notification bell, bing bong, to be notified of all our upcoming content so you don't miss out on a thing. Help us grow as we help your orchids grow.